Joanne Gunther, 222 North Avenue. And I'd like to know if it's not a conflict of interest when somebody does a report in favor of someone that he knows, that he worked with at the Department of Criminal Justice. Can you answer me that, Mr. Antonelli? Because I have a problem with that. To me, that sounds like a conflict of interest.
Can you repeat your question, please?
Word for word. I don't
Please.
think I could do that, but however, I think that's a conflict of interest when Mr. Bradley had Mr. Renahan do that report, since he knows him and worked with him. And I think you need an independent person to come and do that report.
Well, to the extent that Mr. Renahan is not here, he is a professional. I don't think he would compromise. I don't think he would compromise his integrity on the conclusions of his report.
Excuse me? Okay.
And you know, I'm not familiar with the relationship that Mr. Bradley may have had with Mr. Renahan in a previous employment.
That's a conflict of interest, sir.
Look,
Another thing, back up.
hold on, ma'am. You're entitled to your
I have the
opinion.
microphone.
You're entitled to your opinion, and I respect you for that.
But that's a conflict
I respectfully
of interest.
disagree.
What?
You are entitled to your opinion, and
I know that, but that is a
I
conflict
respect
of interest.
that. Okay.
Anybody with half a brain
But I
knows that.
disagree with you. I disagree.
You disagree, but you're up here. You know what? All I know is that our police officers should have backup. And if your daughters were police officers, I'm sure you would vote against this, because they need backup. And anytime I've needed the Union Police Department and the Fire Department, they have come to my house, whether it be not necessary, but they came anyway, because I'm by myself now. I don't have a man to help me. But that's a conflict of interest, sir.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everybody else. Billy Rath, former Union Township police officer, retired. I live here in Union, Jersey. I don't know what kind of talent search you conducted, but it looks like we've got an apparent lie right here over this whole topic of the backup stops. Mr. Bradley says, you didn't change policy. The chief says, yes, he did. I think you guys think about this very, very carefully. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Committee. My name is Chief Anton Danko. I represent the State Chiefs Association. Today also we have Chief Bob Quinlan from Hillside. He's the Vice President of the Union County Police Chiefs Association. We came here tonight not to speak. I had no intention at all of speaking. But after hearing some of the things just recently said at this microphone about backup stops, I had to get up. I don't believe, I'm also the director of the John Stanwood Police Academy. I know a little about training. I don't know what label you want to put on it, but it can't be a policy of not backing up police officers. Can you imagine a police officer that he has to call for help, then to get a backup? That makes no sense whatsoever. I feel like I'm in a backward town in Georgia listening to these type of comments about a professional police department. I only can say, Mayor and Committee, my association, and I've been doing this for 15 years for the State Chiefs Association. My job as legal aid and arbitration chairman, I go into many, many different municipalities for the 15 years, almost 107. From the largest city, the second largest city, Jersey City, to 3-man departments. And we try to arbitrate and mitigate and help departments that are having trouble with their police departments, their chiefs, and the governing body. But I can tell you right now, is there anything that our association can do to assist you in making this decision tonight about maybe tabling it and giving it a second thought? I know my state chiefs will be there to assist you in any way we can, free of charge, and so will the Union County Police Chiefs. Thank you, Mayor.
Good evening. My name is Jerry DeMonica, a Union resident since 1967, 320 Whitewood Road. I work with a former police officer who is now retired. His name was Dan Von Spreckelson. He was shot on Route 22. Police officers need backup. I don't know if you realize how bad Route 22 is, but I hate to see Union be coming up to Camden, New Jersey, if you know what I mean. In Irvington, they have 60 state police because Irvington, 3 square miles, the Irvington police cannot handle the problems that they have in Irvington. And as an insurance investigator, I investigate a lot of shootings. One just happened recently. A lady got shot in Irvington. These police need backup, and it'd be a crime. And you guys would be the criminals if these police didn't have backup. Thank you.
How are you doing? Andrew Selby, 1224 Gray Avenue. Captain in Patterson Fire Department, 3rd generation resident of Union. I was sitting home watching TV. I'm out of breath because I'm watching this whole thing on TV. I had to come over here. I'm a 3rd generation resident. I left here, went to Patterson, became a fireman, became a captain, came back into town 10 years ago. I can't believe I'm listening to this. This police department is one of the best. I'm not saying that just because I live here. I'm saying that when I call them, they respond. I graduated with people on this department. I know a lot of these guys in the department. I call them, they're there like within seconds. 4 years without a contract? That's ridiculous. You're going to put somebody in place who nobody wants. Doesn't make any sense. I haven't heard one positive comment about Mr. Bradley. I watched this for an hour on TV. I had to come over here and just express my feeling because it was ridiculous. I literally did that just now. Are you guys listening to what the public's saying? Are you really, really listening to what the public's saying to you? That's all I want to say to you. I had to come out here and do this. Thank you.
Mike Keller, PVA 108. I'm also a resident in Union. A couple years ago, there was a shooting in my department in your town of an officer. Because of the backup of this department, Union Township, that officer lived. You take away the backup of a police officer, next time you have a dead cop in this town.
Will Laverty, I live in Union. I'm a neighbor of yours, Mayor. I'm a police officer in the next town over, Milburn. Just so you know, you have officers working tonight, okay? You have an issue of a policy decision about backup, okay? For those officers working tonight, could you let them know? Can we ask Mr. Bradley, can we let him know? Let him know.
Okay, again, that's not what we're here to discuss.
Well, I mean,
we want to bring that up at the end of the evening. Oh, no, we're here for the ordinance. No, it is not. It is not that gentleman's policy.
I give Mr. Capitas a lot of credit for at least asking the question, having the chief come up here. It seems to me you have two conflicting opinions. I know I believe the chief.
Again,
you know,
okay, we're not here to discuss the backup policy. We're here to discuss...
Well, to us it's pretty important. Could you make an exception? Could you make an exception?
And we're not here to discuss policy tonight. We're not here. We're not here to discuss that right now. No.
Thank you. Just so we have it on video, they don't care.
Thank you.
I'm Officer Stanley Boho, Township of Union Police. I live in Clark, New Jersey. However, I grew up in this town, I went to school in this town, and I've been working as a police officer for 22 years. And for those 22 years, I've been working under Chief Kramer, as he was a supervisor of mine all the way through my years. And there has never been a more appropriate authority than Chief Kramer that I see. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I move the ordinance be adopted. Oh my God.
Burwell, 1341 Marcella Drive in Union. Could you, or do you have some timeline for the study and the announcement to the public of the issues that, or public meetings that will be held in connection with it for change of government?
Okay, I think, that will be something that will be placed on the ballot for a vote next November. And at that time, okay.
I'm sorry. If I understood the resolution to be for a study of forms of government.
Right.
And that will be placed on the ballot?
Yes, yes. The question of whether or not we are going to, whether the township, the residents of the township want to authorize a study. It will not only be that question, but if that is passed also on that same day, there will be up to, well, as many people that want to run for, to serve on that committee. Their names would also be on the ballot, and I believe, as Mr. Florio had explained earlier, the top 5 people, vote getters of those people who are running to serve on the commission would be elected by the general public, and then they would do the study. They would be the ones to call the meetings. They would do the advertising for public comment and concerns on that.
Mayor, may I also
Go ahead.
point, hopefully maybe just to clarify a little bit. One of the things that we were trying to say tonight is that there was a small group of people going around. We don't know how many signatures they got. We're not clear. And that's fine. What we were trying to say was that we want to see, first of all, if the majority of the residents in the Township of Union, and next November, which is a presidential election, there probably would be 16, 17, 18,000 people voting. The first thing that goes on the ballot is to say, do you want to even charter a commission to change the government? You may find out that more than 50% of the people don't want to change, and we're not going to go any further. But if more than 50% of the people say that they want to study it, and also as part of that election, anybody else in the public could say, I want to put my name up on a ballot. I'm sure people are going to group together and put some names up, and the top 5 people would then become part of that commission, which would then do the study, and then as they come up with the conclusions from the public, would put it on the following November's ballot, where we get a heavy turnout. What we don't want, what we'd not like to see would be a very important thing like changing the government in Union to be dictated by something like a Board of Education election, which gets 1,500 voters out. We want that to be done where the majority of voters come out and they say, okay, we first of all, we'd like to charter a commission, go study it, give us the options. An option comes up, it'll go on, if it's approved next November to do that, in the following November, that option, whatever's decided by the people in that commission, will go on the ballot for a vote. If it's voted in, the government will change. If it's not, the government will stay the same.
My next remarks I'm making, I don't know why, because obviously, as you demonstrated tonight, you don't listen to what people say. I'm not a political person, but the demeanor of this committee has appalled me. As a citizen in this town and as a taxpayer, I cannot fathom why the sentiment of the public on important issues is treated with such disdain. And it offended me.